Hey, you, I need to know something. I need to know if I'm an asshole for telling my niece that she can't afford to get married. Let's go. So my niece is engaged to her new boyfriend. They have been dating for 4 months, and she is just 19. My brother told her that he will stop funding her life if she marries him. My niece is pretty spoiled. She visited me last week, and I think she thought that I would be supportive because I was also cut off because I refused to divorce my wife. She was telling me that she knew that it would be difficult, but she could manage because she loved him. I asked her if she had a budget, but she said she didn't. I offered to help him make her one, and she was enthusiastic. She didn't know how much he made, and when she texted him about it, he was being shady and not responding. So I assumed he would make $16 per hour and work 12 hours per day for 6 days and $10,000 in tips, and I assumed she would work the same hours and make the same amount. I then showed her how much things will actually cost and budgeted them figures in. I also emphasized that these were very generous assumptions on my part, and it's a rosier picture than reality. It still meant that she would have to make substantial changes to her lifestyle, and I think it dawned on her how drastically different it would be to date someone without money and be actually married to them. She asked me how we made it work, and I told her that my wife and I had sat down for hours preparing budgets and getting ready to be cut off, and we were cut off in our early 30s, and already had 2 great careers and received other inheritances, which had helped immensely. She was sober and serious when she left my house. She broke up with him and has moved back home. It appears she asked him about his salary, and it was lower than my assumptions, and that freaked her out, and she broke up with him. She is upset, and she said I scared her and she really misses him. My wife said that I was a bit manipulative with my assumptions, as I did know that they were a bit more generous than normal, and she would freak out when she tried to make a real budget. I did know that, and it does make me feel a bit bad. I feel like I played her here. Edit to add, I meant $10K yearly in tips, obviously not weekly. I'm just gonna go right out of the gate here and say, big yikes, dating for 4 months, 19 years old, already engaged? I'd like to say, damn, that doesn't sound realistic in this day and age, but unfortunately, I know very much that it's realistic in this day and age. I have seen it with my own 2 eyes. Although I think financially the two have much different circumstances, this one seems to be much worse than the one that I've experienced. There's quite a bit of information that I would love to know from these people here, specifically why the brother is funding her lifestyle. What does that mean? Does that mean he's paying her rent, or is he just paying for things that she wants? I don't have an answer to that one. The only gleam of knowledge I can get there is, he says my niece is pretty spoiled. Odd story, but nonetheless, I do think she deserves to know how much her fiance is making, and she does deserve to be hit with a bit of a reality slap that, look, you guys have a really bad combined income. You're going to have your support taken away from you. You absolutely cannot afford to live independently now. If the best result of that is her breaking up with him and moving back home, maybe that unfortunately is what has to happen in this situation. And I don't think that makes OP an asshole for pointing that out. I think he's saving her a lot of stress. But again, I could be wrong, who knows? I'm gonna say not the asshole for this one. I think you did a good job, OP. Now in the comments, not the asshole. You didn't play her. You gave her a badly needed dose of reality. You showed her how to make a budget, which gave her a rosy picture of how her life would be with him financially. It was a much lower standard of living than she is used to. It forced her to look at the financial ramifications going forward if she stayed in that relationship. She decided that her standard of living was more important to her than quote-unquote love. Thanks for taking the time to explain to her how things work in the adult world. Also, this didn't mean break up with him. It was more slow down because you were still young. I guess not the asshole. Your niece sounds very immature and probably shouldn't be getting married just because of that. I mean, 1 minute anything can work because true love, and one sobering financial conversation later, and she's dumping him. She didn't even stay with him and get engaged/married later, she just cut it off entirely. Whether or not you were manipulative, it was information she clearly needed to hear and a delusion that she needed to see past. She seems like a normal middle-class 19-year-old girl. doesn't have much clue about life, and it's not entirely her fault. Not the asshole. You gave her an important life lesson in budgeting and living expenses. It was her decision to choose money over her new boyfriend. I think the reason why she's so scared is his example was them making $130,000 together. He was likely making 25 to 30% of that, right? And even making $130,000 a year, she already didn't like the lifestyle changes that would entail. Of course, if income is way lower, those changes will be much, much worse. I don't see how starting from the generous assumptions scared her any more than just starting with the real numbers would have. She was already freaked out thinking that she'd be upper middle class. She would not have reacted better to knowing that she would be straight up poor. Our next post is titled, "Am I the asshole for getting my wife a penis-shaped cake?" I, 34 male, was gearing up to celebrate my 10th anniversary with my wife, 31 female. I had an entire night planned out, like we were going to be trying lobster for the first time. Where the conflict arises was with the cake. I had always wanted to do a penis-shaped cake since I thought it was funny, but I didn't know how my wife would react. However, since it was our 10th anniversary, I figured she would be used to my crude sense of humor. I went ahead and got the cake a couple of days in advance and put it into our fridge. However, my wife snuck a peek and was not pleased. She got really mad at me and accused me of trying to ruin our special night. I thought that was ridiculous, but she's been mad at me ever since. Apparently she spoke with her family about it, and they've been blowing up my phone ever since. They are mostly conservative Mormons. I still don't think that I did anything wrong by trying to do something nice for her, but I realized I might be the asshole because I haven't offered to get another cake yet, since the mood is kind of ruined. Look, as hilarious as that is to me, why would you buy a penis-shaped cake for your 10th anniversary? At least have that as a backup cake as an inside joke, I think. In this day and age, we're going to be posting those things online, and if she has conservative Mormon parents and just a social group that probably extends into that base, I don't think they're going to react too well to that. And I do think for your 10th anniversary, posting on social media, your wife is going to care about their reaction to that. Posting this phallic cake for this anniversary, I don't imagine that's going to go too well, and I feel like you know your wife better than anyone, and you realize she's going to react this way, so why do it, is my question. Hey man, that's your hill to die on if you want to. I personally wouldn't be doing that if I knew my wife was going to react badly to it though. But it makes for good content, so thank you for posting. I'm gonna say you're the asshole. Now in the comments, hello from a conservative Mormon. I have a great sense of humor, and lots of people I know from church do too. But it's your anniversary. You said yourself that you didn't know how she'd react, so pick a random day to penis cake surprise her. Not your 10th anniversary. I can understand why she's upset. Go get a new cake, or the only one eating dick on your special day will be you. You're the asshole. Yes, you're the asshole, OP. You are in your 30s, you have plenty of birthdays, guys' nights, or less important parties where you could have gotten yourself a dick cake. You think your 10-year anniversary is the best time to pull that out? I am sure she loves your sense of humor normally, but this is supposed to be a romantic occasion, and you turned it into a joke. He literally could have done it for his bachelor party or own birthday party. There are so many other opportunities to do a funny penis cake. Your 10-year anniversary with your wife from a conservative Mormon family is never going to be it. In celebration of 10 years of marriage, I'm inviting you to eat a dick. How do you not see that was a stupid idea? You're the asshole. I would have laughed my ass off if I'd been in her shoes. I don't know how OP misread his wife so badly, and he's definitely an asshole for this, but for what it's worth, there are some people who'd get a kick out of this. Sure, but I feel it's pretty safe saying that in general, most people wouldn't want a penis cake for what most see as a romantic milestone. Here's a hint. If you don't know how she would react to having a penis cake for her anniversary after 10 years of being married to her, there's a good chance that it's a bad idea. Yeah, the double standard of, I expect her to know me well enough to just love all of my humor, and I don't actually know if she loves my humor, is pretty hilarious. They are two sides of the same coin, OP. This was a pretty self-absorbed thing to do, and you tried to justify it by expecting that she knows you better than you know her. Alright, and our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for threatening my sister, who's also my kid's biological mother, with a restraining order? I am 32 female, married to my husband 35 male, and I have a younger sister who is now 29 female. My sister got pregnant when she was 18. It was an accidental pregnancy, and she wanted to terminate it, but instead chose to keep it and give it away for adoption. Before she gave birth, I considered adopting the kid and made sure my sister would be okay with it, and she was extremely happy. She gave birth and we did all the legal paperwork to adopt the kid. The kid would still meet my sister, but as her aunt. It is a girl. The kid is now turning 11, and all those years we've never had issues with our family dynamic. My sister also expressed that she's not fit to be a mom and has been open about staying child-free. She has been a great aunt to my daughter, and we all had a healthy family relationship. I also found out 6 months ago that I'm pregnant with my own biological kid. I always wanted to be a mom, and that's why I adopted my daughter, and now I'm also pregnant. My husband and I are more than excited that our family is growing, and we'll be able to give our daughter a sibling. Since I got pregnant, my sister's stance has changed. She's tried to spend more time with my daughter, and also introduced her new boyfriend to my daughter, which is something she's not done with any other boyfriend of hers. She has been dating that guy for less than a year. I don't want to get into much details, so I'm going to get straight to the point. My sister claims now that I'm expecting my own biological kid, she wants her daughter back. I was shocked to say the least, and I told her that it's not going to happen. The kid is legally adopted by me and my husband, and she's grown up with me as her mother. She claims I stole her kid by taking advantage of her young age when she got pregnant, and I reminded her that giving up the kid for adoption was her own choice. She wants the kid back and demands to act like a mother. She also told the truth to her boyfriend and claims that we manipulated her into giving up the kid, which was not the case at all. Her boyfriend is willing to help her in legal battles to get the kid back. She also threatened to tell the kid the truth unless we do as she says. Legally, there is nothing she can do, but I don't want my kid to be traumatized by revealing the truth, especially in that way. My husband and I threatened a restraining order, and my parents basically called me the asshole for threatening a restraining order against my own sister, and said that I should sit down and listen to what she has to say, because she is my sister after all. My husband and I are not willing to back down, as protecting our kid and family is our first priority. My parents say my sister should have equal rights to her kid, like we have, and we should compromise. Am I the asshole? Now in the comments, not the asshole. Restraining order sounds good to me. Tell your daughter the truth now to avoid it being revealed in an unpleasant way. Absolutely this. I knew a woman whose husband was not the bio dad of their oldest, but they never told her. When they split, Mum threatened constantly to tell her. Well, she did, when she and 13-year-old daughter were arguing. She has never recovered from the trauma. We used to tell him to sit her down and tell her in a positive way, but he didn't, and now daughter hates them both. Not the asshole. But it seems that you're going to have to tell your daughter that her favorite aunt is actually her biological mother sooner than you had planned. It's much better if you and your husband tell her than if your sister does so, because it allows you to preempt her lie. Also, it removes her blackmailing you through that threat of telling her. Best. And OP replies, that's a good idea, although we're going to have to work on how we're going to tell her. Ask a child therapist with experience in this field, and have them there when you tell her. Not the asshole. You are that child's mother in every respect other than biologically. Your sister and parents are way out of line. You need to tell your daughter the truth. Do it in your own way, and do it as soon as possible. Your daughter deserves to know. But aside from that, it will be far less upsetting coming from you, her parents, than if your sister blurts it out. It also takes away that threat from your sister. Sadly, if your sister doesn't back down, you might need to ban her from contacting your family until she settles down. If she gets agitated enough, she could do something dangerous like attempted kidnapping or something. It sounds like your sister is having a mental health crisis or similar. And OP replies, I'll follow the advice and tell my daughter the truth. I actually thought about that as well. I'd rather be the one to reveal the truth to my kid than have my sister tell her as a way to get back at me. And our next post is titled, Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to leave the house because she is not cooking? So I have been with her for 3 years. Over the past 2 days, she has changed a lot. I work, she is a stay-at-home W, and I know it's stupid, but she was very good at it over the last year. She did all the chores and cooked amazing food, so I was fine with it. I make enough and have inheritance for the both of us anyways. Now Friday, I come home to my dirty clothes on the couch, no food for me, as she cooked and ate herself, and I was surprised at this. I asked her what was all this, and she said she was sick of babying me. I asked her what she meant, and she talked to her friend who talked sense into her. She told my girlfriend that she was raising a man-child, and that she was becoming a replacement of my mother to me. Since she does everything, like all the household stuff, the cooking, cleaning, laundry, etc., and I hardly know how to do that. Both completely true. Thank you for the honesty, OP. That I was just being a leech and using her as a maid. I was shocked that she believed all this crap, and we had a huge fight. The next morning, nothing changed. We kept fighting, and Saturday evening, I had enough of this. I told her that she would have 10 days to leave the apartment and find herself a place. I told her I wouldn't be her father anymore by paying for everything, and she would have to make arrangements if she was going to continue behaving that way. We fought and she left to her friend's place. Some friends told me that I might have been doing a bit too much by kicking her out. Am I the asshole for this? Edit. She gets fun money and the same amount as me. She takes 3 hours because I said that if she was a stay-at-home W, woman, mother, worker, who knows? I wanted really good food. Oh man, come on. The only request that I had was the really good food. So it takes her some time to prepare it. The amount of time she takes changes from the food that she makes, and she has an overall time of chores for 3/4 hours is what I meant, not just cooking for 3 hours. I do take care of her when she is sick. I don't have to do the cleaning because she does it once every 4 days, and she gets fine by then, whatever that means. And it was a heated argument. I gave her 10 days to leave, she chose to leave today. Edit, she threw the clothes on the couch, I do not leave them there. Now in the comments, not the asshole. You pay the bills and she does the household stuff. If she doesn't contribute, she doesn't need to live in the place that you pay for. Why does she think she gets a free pass in life? And OP replies, exactly what I was saying. Just to be clear, if she went and got a job, you would then be perfectly okay doing half the chores and cooking. Sounds like you are well off, which means expecting her to pay half is unreasonable unless you are currently living well under your means. With such income disparity, it is better to agree that efforts are equal or split by percentage of total income each brings in a month. I personally never had to get more pedantic than any job means effort. But if you need value, then split by percentage. If your job and interest is bringing in 95% of the income after taxes, then you pay 95% of all the bills. That 5% will still add up for her if living at any sort of high standard, and you would still be morally responsible for half the housework and cooking. And also, please remember that hired help is a thing before treating your significant other as one at this point. Not the asshole. You had an arrangement and she broke it. Everybody needs to pull their weight in a household. Was she expecting to do nothing at all? I had a similar situation where a friend of an ex butted herself in the relationship this way, big time. I hope their friendship is worth it. I am sorry for your breakup. You also need to learn how to do your own chores. OP can use the money saved to hire a housekeeper to come once a week if he doesn't have time. Not the asshole. If she's staying at home all day and not working, then yeah, I would have made her leave too. Right? I'm not understanding the everyone sucks here and you're the asshole judgments. She sounds spoiled and entitled. If he's making all the money and paying all the bills, it is completely fair to expect her to do the housework. And my blessed Markee community, you really are blessed on this day. OP gave us an update within 14 hours of posting this. Update. She came home, she cried, she apologized, and I said it back too, and hugged me. She told me she loved me. She said she didn't know what came into her. Maybe you. She said she acted like a and she said she would cut off the friend, toxic in many ways. I never really liked her in the first place, and she asked me to forgive her. She had gone to another friend's place who lived closer to us, not the one in the OP. She says she was just tired of being at home doing nothing. We'll talk about it later, and we might be getting a pet. I said it was okay and that I was one too. And she kept crying and is now asleep hugging me. Thank you for the comments in the DMs. I couldn't have read most of it, but I appreciate it a lot. And that's where I'm going to end the episode, guys. If you liked it, click one of these videos that are on the screen right now to keep watching. One of them is the latest upload, and one of them YouTube reckons you would really like. I'm just going to be experimenting with a bunch of different stuff with the channel, potentially opening up new channels for stuff. I've got a nice TikTok. It's @McLeavy if you want to go find it. I don't know what else to say. Why are you still listening to this? Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.